So a little while ago, I ended up making a video on YouTube of me getting this 20 questions thing on order to say joint. Basically what this is you think of something in your head like, I don't know, like a joint, a marijuana joint, and this thing will guess it. It'll go up to 20 questions and then it'll try to guess what you were thinking in your head. If it fails, it tries another 10, and then if it wins, it wins, or if it loses from there. But most of the time it will actually say what you want it to say. But the flaw is with this thing is it runs off of three 1.5 volt C batteries, and it's a big hog when it comes to batteries. It'll literally eat them up. So I did some modifications to it. Now it's very, very simple modifications. Now I've actually added a plug here, and since it's 1.5 volts and it's using C batteries, I decided to use a charger. Yeah, it's a charger. This one here is 50 to 60 hertz, 0.5 amps. Output is 5 volts to 2 amp, which is basically under power. So this thing is not going to literally burn out over this. So this is going to do a little bit of work just to run this, but this here doesn't have to worry about having high voltage that may fuck it up. So I've used this. Now the port that I ended up buying is actually a 12 volt port, and so I had to use a 12 volt end on it to just plug it in. So I had to do some modifications and modified the wire, did some soldering with it, and I put two ends, bunted them and crimped them together. So it's actually pretty tough. But I have this opened at the moment, and I want to actually show you guys the inside of it. So basic that I literally didn't add any extras other than expanding the wire. Here it is. This whole thing was literally too close to this and you can barely work with it, so I snipped all the wires and I made extensions on all the wires, so everything's farther out now. So as you can see, there's the crimped pieces. I would have rather used heat sink wraps in order to modify it, but this is all I was able to find around here. I would actually have to order the proper parts. So I did some soldering there, did some down there, resoldered all this, and I resoldered that to the board itself. So that's all my work right there. Resoldered everything over here, so everything is like farther away. It's easier to actually modify this thing. So this is actually my new piece here. I use Gorilla Glue instead of Crazy Glue to glue it into place. I think Gorilla Glue is so much better than Crazy Glue. It literally melts plastic together. So it's nice adhesive for that. So that's pretty much it. I'm just going to put it back together and I'll show you guys it working. And you can check it out. It's just a little modification. Like, this thing's meant to be on batteries, and I decided to put it on the charger or batteries. The problem is, like, I didn't do anything other than wiring. So if you do put batteries in here and you do plug it into the wall, you're pretty much going to probably blow up those batteries, because you're basically sending power directly to the batteries, which is extremely stupid. Or you're sending extra voltage to the board. I'm eventually going to get another switch like this that you can either switch in between the batteries or the plug, just to be safe. Back and forth, you can even switch back and forth. But I don't have any of these switches right now, so I'm only stuck to do with what I'm with what I have here. So, which is all right for me. Okay, so I put it back together here, and see, it's all back together. I'm going to show you guys this thing actually working, and then I'm going to show you a time lapse of the modification to it. Now, I didn't record everything, and most of the time I didn't move the camera, so you guys can check it out though. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn it on right off the bat to show you, and I'm going to hit the on button, and just to show you that this thing will be running off of this plug. You can see. Right now I ended up plugging it in without hitting the switch, so it's not going to display anything, which is fine. All I just have to do is plug it in, flip it around, turn it off, and then turn it back on. Kind of hard to do when you got a camera in your hand. Here we go. And now it will display whatever shows up on the screen, as you can see. As you can hear, the audio is fine. So that's basically it. It's just a little modification I did to it. Like I said, I'm eventually going to get another switch. I'm probably going to put it maybe right here. And this here will either switch from the battery pack or this. Like I said, right now I got to be careful because if I have batteries in here and I have that plugged in, I can either fuck up the batteries or I can literally send too much voltage to this thing and fuck it up. So that's the reason why I want to put in a switch here, so you can switch either from battery or that, which will be a safer way of doing it. Until then, I really can't do much with it. Oh, I should put this stuff back on. I didn't put the last screw in here because I drilled a hole right through it. Unfortunately, that is the only best place I could think of it, but there is another area where I can tighten it up, so this thing is actually tight and put together properly.